Hi, welcome to Selfseeds through the eyes of the horse. And I continued my work with Nador, trotting around the hay fields in Carbondale, Colorado. A big part of riding for me is what is the emotional state of the horse? Is the horse calm but active and willing? Or is the horse anxious and making decisions more as a reaction? One of the ways that I gauge whether the horse is emotionally calm is the horse available to react to my aids? And not aids that are punishing, harsh, and rigid, but aids that are soft and flexible with a high degree of feeling and sensitivity. One of the things that I really became clear in my ballroom dancing was how critical my emotional state was to be able to receive information and then be able to act on information. Ironically, or maybe not ironically, when I came back from my first trip to India and had been working on meditation and a lot of inward examination, I met with my dance coach at the time, Max, and we did a dance competition. It was so interesting for me because I hadn't practiced dancing for 6 months, but decided let's just go for it. Because of the training that I'd had with him, it was based on a system of reactions in a positive way from aids that he gave. It wasn't a learned choreograph that I just executed with him. We really danced as if I was the horse and he was the rider, with choreograph unknown. And when I'd had that time to practice stillness and to work on calming my emotions, he was surprised how much more available and reacting on the aids of dancing in a very calm and systematic way. So I see that with the horses. Right now, I'm riding 10, 12 horses every day. And most of the horses I'm riding out, walking or trotting or cantering in the fields. And it is so clear whether the horse is supple and reacting to my aids because the horse is confident, calm, and responding to my aids with clarity, or when the horse is tense and just reacting to my aids. And when I say reacting, it's not always predictable or in a supple way. The rigidity in the horse's jaw, poll, neck is a giant obstacle course for the horse to receive information in a supple, calm, easy way. And so all of this feeling of how the horse is responding inside the body becomes very critical in assessing how the horse is doing with the information. If you're riding the horse in a way that you're kind of wrenching the horse off the aids, or gouging the horse in the side with spurs, or something severe, yes, you may get the result that you want temporarily, but what has the cost been emotionally for the horse? These are the things that always have to be weighed when you're looking at being a good listener and a good leader. And with both dancing and riding, there's always a trade in exchange between listening and leading. So even a good leader has to be a good listener. Now, as you could see, Nador is still trotting along in a very rhythmical way. He's receiving my information. And because he's available mentally, physically, and I would say as a spirit too, I'm able to work on a lot more refined aspects of riding. So that means I can work with the subtlety of the placement of his rib cage, the degree of connection that he has throughout his entire body, the subtleties of how open his throat latch is, how does he feel in his poll, is he reaching to the bit, and is he able to hold the bit in a level way so that his alignment through his spine is the maximum inner straightness. And when I think of straightness again, I think of two types of straightness. One is relative straightness, which is just riding somewhere on a relatively accurate linear degree. And the other is absolute straightness, where I can have, I'm going to say, control of the placement of the horse relative to his spine. So that means I can bend left, I can bend right, or I can engage the horse from a range of collection to extension. And all of this becomes important to me as I ride and give the horse the best opportunity to navigate not only carrying and wearing a human in the middle of their spine, but also for his safety and clarity navigating changes in terrain. So, as you could see, Nador's made a very easy transition to walking again. I'm headed home, still going with a great deal of enthusiasm, relaxation, calmness, and just a general sense of well-being. Is he walking home more quickly? No. I like the horses to walk with a good activity. I think it's very, very therapeutic for the horses to be able to walk with a big swing and a nice active step. I always believed in that from years of competitive trail riding. And then, of course, that was a nice quality for doing dressage, for quality of walk and so on in the scores. But I also feel how therapeutic it is for horses. So even if you just walk the horse with a good active walk, you're doing your horse a favor. You probably have noticed these things if you go out and you go walking yourself, is that there's a great activity in your stride. A lot gets done in power walking. And now I'm going to challenge Nador to walking through the deep, deep grass. It creates a level of trust. He needs to be thinking about where his feet are going in a more active way. I don't mind. that he's eating a little bit of grass as we go, but we have grass rules. But they need to keep walking steadily with their feet while they're eating grass. Because if they stop and pull grass all the time, it's pretty disruptive. Plus, their neck gets in places that isn't really always useful. So here we are. This year the grass is just unbelievably tall. And so it's tickling their nose actually as we walk through. Now there's lots of places in here where there are streams running or there's runoff from the irrigation. It's dry now because they're harvesting the grass, but there's still a lot of irregularities under, and I love how he's looking, he's assessing, he's not being deterred by the unknown of the footing, and again, just taking it all in stride. So very pleased with his confidence and emotional state, as well as the balance, flexibility, weight distribution, and all the key ingredients that we need and share for a good partnership. So just another awesome ride, training, addressing many aspects of the work, and just enjoying so much riding. For me personally, if I am addicted to one thing, it is riding and training horses. All of them are interesting. It's like putting on a giant decoder system and to analyze all the different nuances of their structure and asymmetries and their personalities and how they navigate everything. It's a very, very cool partnering opportunity, and I don't take it for granted.